Wish me luck, because you know it's been a struggle, but that was corny. Hi, my name is Jayla and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my March priorities, which is essentially a way of saying lying to you for however many minutes straight about what I plan to read in March. I'm going to try very hard not to lie to you this month. I don't feel like I have a crazy unrealistic TBR. However, as I mentioned in my last video, my mood reading has been insanely moody, and stuff I feel like reading right now I very much probably won't feel like reading, and maybe don't even feel like reading at this current moment, but hope that I will feel like reading later in the month, if that makes any sense. We're first going to start with the theme that I accidentally created for myself for this month, which is reading the first and second book in a series, which is currently all that's out in all three of these series. So firstly, I was reading My Heart is a Chainsaw in my last vlog, if you peeped that, and I have Don't Fear the Reaper. I only got 110 pages into Chainsaw during that vlog, so I'm hoping that I will finish it in early March, you know, preferably today, preferably tonight. And then I will start Don't Fear the Reaper, which just came out last month, and hey, that's 2 books that I'll have read and can say that I'm a reader again, so that would be great. If you don't know, this book is about a girl named Jade who has like an encyclopedic knowledge of horror slasher movies because she's just obsessed with them. It's like it's how she copes essentially. And she really loves slashers. She notices that might be a slasher film, like real life, not film, but you know, all the tropes of one happening in her hometown. And she's like, oh, well, I know I'll survive because I'm a genius who knows everything about slashers, but there's this one girl who's definitely going to end up being the final girl, and I should probably help her out, or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should make sure all this happens and goes as planned because I hate this town, and I want everyone in it to die. So that's not really what she says, and that's essentially the gist of the book, and I was really enjoying what I read of it last month, so I'm hoping that I will finish this and finish the sequel and be caught up in time for the 3rd book, which comes out next spring, which I definitely have a lot of time. That's a whole year from now, but you know. Then I plan to reread Ninth House because the sequel, Hellbent, just came out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with these books. I have to read this. But then Hellbent came out, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna remember anything that I read in Ninth House if I just go into this one. So I really want to read Ninth House again to refresh my memory on all the things, all the shenanigans, all the Darlington, because even though he's not in it that much, I know that the 2nd book is going to be about him a lot. It better be. If it's not, y'all gotta tell me now. Please, like, put my expectations in the correct place, because if we don't get Darlington in book 2, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my love for this series. So this one is about honestly, I can't even remember. It's about this girl named Alex Stern. She's going to Yale. She's basically an outsider within this prestigious institution, but she's also an insider because she is working with this secret society. And I don't even remember what her role in the secret society was. She's like, she supervises the rituals or something like that. I don't even remember. She ends up helping a ghost. All this stuff happens, but I gotta refresh myself because I can barely remember it. But if you like dark academia ghost stories and awesome, like really grumbly main characters, then you'll love this story. But I don't need to tell you that because you already know. You love these books. Like, where have you been? Are you living under a rock? So I really want to read these 2 in March. And then another reread, I plan to reread Scorpica by G.R. McAllister because the sequel, Arca, is coming out on Tuesday, which is literally Tuesday. It's like 3 days from now, from when I'm filming this. I should be reading this right now, but I clearly haven't started it, and yes, I'm rereading this one because I read it last spring. It's a really cool fantasy premise, if you don't know, because I don't feel like this book got nearly as much hype as it deserved. This is about 5 queendoms. It's called the 5 Queendom Trilogy. It's basically 5 queendoms in which they're all ruled by queens, but female babies stop being born, which is essentially saying that they can no longer produce heirs for their queendom. And a lot of stuff starts happening because people want to seize power while they can in this kind of crisis that all of the queendoms are going through. It follows 5 POVs, all of them extremely interesting, a lot of political intrigue and strategy going on in the story, and also some found family, which I really loved, and a little bit of romance, but it's kind of off to the side. So there's a lot going on in these books, and I think you should read it if you haven't, and you will be just in time to hop on the train for the sequel Arca, which is coming out on March 7th. And it's a little bit thicker than Scorpica, I will say, so I'm really interested to see what goes down in here, because I remember the ending of Scorpica had such an explosive ending, and we're just like, okay, now what's gonna happen? So I'm very excited to see what happens next in the sequel.
Okay, hi, my bad. I totally forgot to mention the book that we are reading for Classic Literature Book Club, which I host with Christine and Mo from the Roomies Digest, Catherine Zofrey from Catherine Zofrey, Sarah from Sarah Shelves, and Manda from Ginger Snapped Reads. My bad. I meant to tell you that we are reading A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. What a name. Wow. Anyway, we will have a final date for you by the time I have this video out, and if it happens to be the live stream is before this video comes out, then so be it. But that is another one of the priorities I have for March. A Soul to Keep. Check it out with us. I'm sure it'll be a time.
This one is like one book times 7, but I really want to read Monstrous Volume 7 in March because I've had this for a few months now and I haven't read it still. So I definitely want to pick this one up, but I first need to go back in time and reread. I want to reread a lot this month, apparently. Luckily, these are all graphic novels, so I wouldn't be spending 7 days on this when I could probably spend just 7 hours on it. But I really want to reread volumes 1 through 7 so that I can refresh myself, because I remember even back on volume 5 that I read in 2020, I was super confused about what was going on in the story. I was like, I remember these characters, but I don't remember their goals, their desires, their intentions. I don't remember who's doing this and who's doing that. So I desperately need to reread the story to understand everything that's going on before I can hop into number 7. And then I will gloriously revel in all the beauty that is volume number 7. I also really want to read the other graphic novel that they created, the two authors created together. It's called The Night Eaters. So hopefully I have to earn that, because I just talked about how I'm not buying books that much, but I do have to go buy that book if I want to read it, and I have to earn the right to go buy that book by reading all 7 of the volumes of Monstrous. It's not logical logic, but it is logic that keeps me from spending money, so that's all that matters. Another book that I want to prioritize in March is Big Swiss by Jen Began. I saw this talked about by Sarah from Sarah Shelves, and I immediately was like, ooh, I want to check that out, because Sarah knows a weird book, and I like weird books. So I don't know a ton about what this is about. It came out February 7th. It's a brilliantly original novel about a sex therapist transcriptionist who falls in love with a client. When they accidentally meet in real life, an explosive affair ensues. I am curious to know what is so explosive about this affair. Obviously, it sounds wildly inappropriate. This cover is giving me major what the fuck vibes, so I'm excited to read about this and see what all the buzz is. Sarah really liked it when she read it. It's getting a lot of attention and a lot of praise from what I've seen, so I definitely anticipate this being a really good one and one that'll stick with me throughout the rest of 2023. And the last book that I'm interested in getting to in March, if I can, it's not really high on the list, but it's just like, you know, let's just throw it in there. Hopefully I have time for it. The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is about a writer who goes to this writing retreat. It's super exclusive, super fancy. It's at this estate, and everyone at the writing retreat learns that if they have to finish an entire novel during their time here from scratch, and if whoever has the best novel wins a 7-figure book deal with a big illustrious publisher. And obviously competition ensues. It sounds really fun just from like the writing premise alone. But also, then one of the writers ends up vanishing, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the estate, so the main character is just like, well, what the fuck is going on here? So I guess this is a mystery or a thriller. It's giving thriller, but it's also not giving thriller, you know what I mean? So we will see how much I end up enjoying this one if I get to it, but I really hope to, because it just sounds like a good time. So that's everything that I want to read in March. Wish me luck. We know it's been a struggle, but I want to get back in tune with what the girlies are reading, and that starts with, actually there's a good deal of new releases in here, so I feel like I'm getting back in tune with what the girlies are reading, but obviously I got a long ways to go. Hopefully as soon as I turn this camera off and edit this video and post this on YouTube, I'll have started reading and have made some progress. I definitely feel like I want to make some vlogs for some of these, so let me know if you want to see that down in the comments, and give me a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and or you just enjoy watching my face, that's also fine too. I'm done talking. I literally have nothing else to say. I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye!